We're a medium of trust in a world of speculation and opinion.
Developing a narrative of Africa that is true, compelling, and relatable.
We're challenging misrepresentations, stereotypes, and false perceptions.
Disrupting the African conversation and driving the agenda for inclusive and objective reporting in politics, business, culture, entertainment, and sports.
We are amplifiers of previously untold stories, giving equal prominence to reports across Africa.
We are tickers of today's events, with reliable, timely, and responsible coverage of evolving issues.
We are charting the narratives that define Africa to the world.
Good morning. This is Headline Africa. Welcome. I'm Nelly Kalu. U.S. strikes in Somalia, and this time it killed 4 terrorists in airstrikes against Al-Shabaab militant group in Somalia on Sunday. This was a day after the country's deadliest attack in 2 years. The U.S. Africa Command, AFRICOM, said in a statement that it had conducted 3 airstrikes in 2 locations in Somalia on Sunday, targeting Al-Shabaab militants. Sunday strikes killed 2 militants and destroyed 2 vehicles in Kunyo Baro, while a separate strike killed another 2 in Kalio Baro, which these attacks are regularly carried out in Somalia. And this followed a massive car bomb explosion in a busy area of Mogadishu on Saturday that left at least 79 people dead and scores injured. The attack was not claimed, but Mogadishu is regularly hit by car bombings and attacks waged by Al-Shabaab militants who have fought for more than a decade to topple the Somali government. A suspect who escaped from the Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg was among more than 800 people arrested in a crackdown over the weekend in Gauteng. Now, police confirmed on Sunday that African Kuna, who escaped on the 9th of December, was rearrested. During a chaotic scene at the courts on that day, 3 other suspects were rearrested as well, while another was shot dead. Nkuna, who was in court for a murder charge, managed to exit the court and was on the run before being rearrested by Kagiso police on Saturday. Police spokesperson Captain Mavela Masondo said police and detectives from the Kagiso Crime Prevention Unit intercepted a Nissan Mpendulo minibus that Nkuna and his friend were making use of. He said Nkuna now also faces charges of escaping from lawful custody and attempted murder. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo says the country's current debt situation is closer to the prevalent situation in 1970s and 80s that led Nigeria and the African continent as a whole into unserviceable debts. He said Nigeria risks bankruptcy with its penchant for loans on the current administration and the amount used in servicing the loans. He added that he feels it is his duty and responsibility as a citizen to enrich public discourse with insights and perspectives on topical national issues. Obasanjo stated that although it might not be totally wrong to take loans to finance growth and development, such decisions ought to come with a high degree of discipline, responsibility, and foresight. And the Nigerian government is notoriously deficient in serious and adequate discipline and most often lacks competence and consistency. Now, in business, the Ghanaian presidency says the country will do whatever it takes to join the new West African currency called the ECO, which will replace the France-backed CFA franc as soon as next year in 8 regional countries. Ghana believes that it will help remove trade and monetary barriers. Its next entry into the currency union will make the bloc's largest economy narrowly ahead of its neighbor Cote d'Ivoire. President Alassane Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire and French President Emmanuel Macron announced earlier this month that West Africa's monetary union had agreed to cut some financial links with Paris that have underpinned the region's common currency since its creation soon after World War II. Under the deal, the ECO will remain pegged to the euro, but the African currencies in the bloc won't have to keep half their reserves in the French treasury, and a French representative will no longer sit on the currency union's board. In sports, Gabon striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on the losing side as his English Premier League side, Arsenal, lost 2-1 at home to Chelsea in a star match in the week in England. Aubameyang headed Arsenal into the lead in the first half after a period of sustained pressure in new manager Mikel Arteta's first game in charge. Chelsea, however, came back strongly in the second half with goals from Johingo and Nigerian-born Tammy Abraham, giving them all 3 points. The result means that Arsenal will start 2020 11 points behind fourth place Chelsea, and without the Premier League home win since the 6th of October, it is the first time that they have lost 4 consecutive home matches in all competitions since December 1959. Thanks for watching. Back to Breakfast Central.
Africa is rising. Again, we hear our sounds echo on the other side. Afrobeat and Afropop reinvented, hip life brought back to life, new energy infused into Kwaito and Kwela. Africa is balling. Every stroke, every shot, every race, we find our place at the top. Taking the helm of real power, new hopes for democracies. A breed of entrepreneurial tigers, audacious storytellers, and a promising generation raring to go. Truly, Africa is rising. And this is where the stories that define our continent live.